What is your name, please?
My name is William Dee Hackett.
What is your name, please?
My name is William Dee Hackett.
What is your name, please?
My name is William D. Hackett.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one of them is the real William D. Hackett, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. And here, beginning our second year on the air, is the host of To Tell the Truth, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much, and good evening, and welcome once again to our game of deliberate misrepresentation, wherein our panel endeavors to figure out which one of three challengers has sworn to tell the truth. To Tell the Truth is brought to you each week by Geritol, America's #1 tonic, a high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast. And now let's meet our cross-examiners. What is your name, please?
My name is Polly Bergen.
My name is Ralph Bellamy.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
And my name is Gardner.
Incidentally, Ralph Bellamy has taken time out from rehearsals of his new Broadway play, Sunrise at Campobello, to be with us just one more time as we start on our second year. Of course, it gives us an opportunity to wish you the best of a big success, Ralph, when you open in January on Broadway.
Thank you, Bud.
Sure nice to have you with us. Now, remember, these three gentlemen all claim to be William D. Hackett. Only one, of course, is the real William D. Hackett. The other two have merely assumed that identity, and they do not have to stick to the truth. Panel, may I call your attention to your copies of an affidavit, which you'll find before you, and ask you to follow along as I read it. I, William D. Hackett, am a captain in the United States Army. I have spent 5 years on Alaskan duty and served during World War II with the United States Mountain Troops. I am a mountain climbing specialist. I have made more than 500 major ascents in 12 countries. I am the only man in the world to have climbed to the highest point on 5 different continents. I have been selected as a member of the United States team, which in 1959 will attempt Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. Signed, William D. Hackett. Incidentally, this is the very first public announcement that the Nepalese government has granted permission for a United States team of mountain climbers to try this perilous ascent of Mount Everest. Now, panel, these three gentlemen all claim to be William D. Hackett, mountaineer. Only the real William Hackett is required to answer your questions truthfully, and as usual, you will each question until you hear this signal. At the end of the questioning period, you'll be asked, as usual, also to vote for the one who, in your opinion, is the real William D. Hackett. And we'll begin our questioning tonight with our returnee, Ralph Bellamy. Ralph?
Well, I suppose it would be interesting to find out, #1, why do you climb mountains?
A very classic answer to that would be to utter the words of George Leigh Mallory, because it is there.
#2, have you got an answer to that?
That's the same answer.
All right, and I suppose #3. Alaska. #1, what is the furthest west populated area in Alaska?
The
furthest west.
Your question is not quite clear. The furthest west.
The populated area that's the furthest west.
The city you're speaking
Yes.
of, Nome.
No.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, what's the most dangerous part of climbing up a mountain?
Most dangerous part of climbing up a mountain is overconfidence and rappelling, as a matter of fact.
Rappelling?
Rappelling. Or
Rappelling what?
descending a mountain.
Huh?
Descending a
Oh,
mountain.
descending is the most dangerous part of climbing up.
Correct.
Oh, that's interesting. Number 2, what is a Sherpa?
What is a Sherpa?
Uh-huh.
A Sherpa is a person who lives in Nepal,
Uh-huh.
who is a guide, has been a guide.
Thank you. Number 1, what is a speleologist?
One who explores caves.
Number 3, what is the technical term for mountain climbing as opposed to speleology?
Mountain climbing.
Mountain maybe. Hi, Gardner.
Number one, what is the highest mountain that you ever climbed?
Mount Aconcagua
Where's that?
in Argentina.
Number one, where in the world is a mountain called University Peak?
In Alaska.
Number two, what is the highest mountain in the continental United States?
That's Mount Whitney.
Number three, about how high is Mount Whitney?
20,000 feet.
20,000. Number one, how high is Mount Whitney?
14,400.
Number two?
14,496.
Molly Bergen.
Number one, what are those little pointed steel things that they dig into mountains that hold the rope on?
Pitons.
I beg your pardon?
Pitons.
Pitons. Number two, do you really tie each other to each other with the rope when you're climbing?
Yes, 3 men on a rope.
Don't you think that's depending an awful lot on the others?
You always do.
And what if there's one that's clumsy?
Never cut the
Do you
rope.
check to make sure everybody's agile before you start up these things?
You're supposed to climb with competent climbers.
Is it really more safe, number three, for them to be tied together? Can you save someone if they start
Yes,
to fall?
ma'am.
Okay, that's it, panel. It's time to vote. So without consultation, will you please mark your ballots? And in doing so, select, of course, number one, number two, or number three. And of course, remember the team of challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. All right, panel? In fact, I should say, all right, Polly, you all set?
Yes.
Whom did you vote?
I voted for number two because he had a couple of foreign definitions that Kitty threw at him. I don't know whether they're right or not, but he said something. And the mustache is fascinating.
Just hear the wind whistling through.
I can really.
Ralph, what about your choice?
Number two. I faltered between 1 and 2, but I think 2 was closer to the height of Mount Whitney, if I remember.
Kitty?
Number two, I must say it was the mustache that did it.
And how about you, Hi?
Well, I voted for number one. I thought it was number three, but number one did have a few answers I liked, and I noticed that he was wearing a wedding ring. And despite that fact, I voted for him because I don't think that any man who was married to any woman who wants him around would let him go mountain climbing.
What about the other 2 men on that rope?
That's something else again.
All right, there we have it now, our votes and the reasons why we voted the way we did. Let's see how well our panel did as we discover which of these 3 gentlemen is the mountaineer. Will the real William D. Hackett please stand up?
I'm going to make my husband shave off his mustache.
And send him up the nearest mountain.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Number 2, would you tell us who you really are and what you do with that mustache?
I don't do anything with a mustache. My name is Bruce Learned, and at the moment I'm an account executive with the public relations and advertising firm Jones, Brakely, and Rockwell in New York.
Thank you, sir. Number 3, what about you?
My name is Alexander H. Myers. I'm an educational advisor with the Alexander Hamilton Institute.
Thanks to you, too, sir. Well, as you can see, there were exactly 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total, gentlemen, of $750 from Geritol. Thank you very much. Hope you had fun. Good night and good luck. Punchers, please.
What is your name, please?
My name is Al Harrington.
What is your name, please?
My name is Al Harrington.
What is your name, please?
My name is Al Harrington.
All right, panel, you can close your mouths now. And follow along, if you will, with your copies of this affidavit. I, Al Harrington, am a native of the Samoan Islands. I am working my way through college as a professional dancer specializing in Polynesian dancing. I also play football. I'm first-string halfback And this year, I was one of the leading ground gainers in the Pacific Coast Conference. Signed, Al Harrington. All right, panel, these gentlemen all claim to be Al Harrington, Polynesian dancer and football player. Remember, only the real Mr. Harrington is required to answer your questions truthfully. And, well, since this spot is Polynesian, let's begin with Polly Bergen.
Oh. Bye, George. Number one, what is the middle name, Al stand for?
Albert.
Albert.
Yes.
Number two, what does Al stand for?
Alvin.
Oh. Number three?
Alfred.
I could have practically. Number one, what is your average yardage per carriage?
Oh, about 5.1.
Number two, what is your average?
I really couldn't tell you.
Number three, could you tell me?
About 3.5.
3.5. Number one, could you tell me what position does Hugh McElhaney play?
I really couldn't tell you.
Number two?
Right half.
Ralph?
Number one, can you say in Polynesian, I'm happy to be on the Tell the Truth program tonight?
Well, in Polynesian, we don't have a word for truth. It's a language all by itself. And actually, the vocabulary is very limited.
All right, say I'm happy to be on this show tonight.
Su vale vale.
Number two, will you have a go at it? Number three.
Su vale vale.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number one, is Harrington an old Samoan name?
No, it isn't. It's Irish.
It's Irish. Oh. Number two, who discovered Samoa? Well, number three, who discovered Samoa?
I don't know.
Do you know number one?
I'll go along with the rest of them.
What did you say?
I said I'll go along with the rest of them.
Oh, you go along with the rest. Do you, number two, do you do gestures like they do in Hawaiian dancing and Polynesian dancing?
In Hawaiian dancing, the gestures take a definite meaning.
And in Samoan dancing, do they?
In Samoan dancing is a dance more or less that expresses just happiness.
Uh-huh.
Hi.
Number two, what does the valley valley mean?
Well, it's a word with many definitions, sir.
It's like kimosabi.
Number one, what do they call that skirt you're wearing?
That's what we call lover lover.
And what do you call it, number two?
A lover.
That's enough of that. Number three, what do the other members of your football team call you when they see you wearing that skirt?
Should I answer?
No, don't. But once again, it's time to vote. So without consultation, panel, will you please mark your ballots? And as usual, select number one, number two, or number three. Holly, you all set already?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, for whom did you vote, Polly?
I don't know.
I voted for number one because when I asked him about his average yardage per carriage, he came up with a possible answer, and I would feel that the man who is one of the leading ground gainers would certainly know his average,
Mm-hmm. All right, Ralph?
Number one. I haven't got much of a reason. I think he looks more like a football player, and I realize it didn't say very much. But
Kitty, your selection?
Number one, I like belly.
I don't think I like that double talk. All right, what was your choice?
Yes, I did. I voted for number one because of the double talk. I think he looks like the kind of a guy who can wiggle out of anything.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, the votes are all in. Now,
they're all wrong.
will you three gentlemen please come out and stand in front of your respective desks, please? Now, this is Al Harrington's Samoan ceremonial sword, and it has a razor-sharp edge. All right, gentlemen? Now, will the real Al Harrington please do his sword dance?
What'd you say, Polly?
I said I think he should be ashamed to not know his average ground yardage.
Well, as you can see, he's probably too busy cutting up.
No, come on.
Thank you very much, Al. Number one, you're the one who got all the votes. Should you tell us who you really are and what you do?
My name is Kelvin Kai. I'm a cadet at the United States Merchant Marine Academy, located at Kings Point, Long Island.
And how about you, number three?
My name is Leonard Karol. I'm a floor captain at the Lowell 400 restaurant here in New York City.
Thank you, sir. Well, boy, I tell you, you did very well tonight. You cleaned up. Since the panel was defeated entirely, it means there were $1,000 for 4 incorrect votes given to you by Geritol. Divide it, and thank you very much for being with us. Good night. Good luck. Oh, boy, that was a good one. Don't you dare, Polly. We'll meet a new set of challenges in just a moment.
What is your name, please?
My name is Pat Dwyer.
What is your name, please?
My name is Pat Dwyer.
What is your name, please?
My name is Pat Dwyer.
Panel, once again, may I direct your attention to your copies of this affidavit. I, Pat Dwyer, am a college pre-law student. I am also employed full-time in a law office. Last April, I ran for the office of Justice of the Peace and won the election over 4 male opponents. I am the youngest Justice of the Peace in my state and possibly in the country. Signed, Pat Dwyer. By the way, panel, last week you remember Mrs. Karen Figueres, the wife of the President of Costa Rica,
Yes.
was on our show. She got in touch with us and asked us, would we please contribute her share of the winnings to the Children's Hospital Fund of San Jose, Costa Rica. So we'll do that. Thank you very much, Mrs. Figueres. All right, panel, these 3 ladies all claim to be Pat Dwyer, Justice of the Peace. So again, question till you hear the signal. We'll start this time with High Gardner. High?
Number 1, where do you go to college?
I go to the University of Massachusetts.
And where do you go to college, number 2?
Southern Illinois University.
And number 3?
University of Indiana.
Oh, it's the first time you've met, then, I assume. What law office employs you, number 1?
I work for Anthony Burns and his son.
Number 2, can you, as a justice of the peace, marry anybody?
Yes.
Anybody in particular? I mean,
Anyone?
are you yourself married?
No.
And you say that in your biography here that you're the youngest justice of the peace probably in the entire country or the state. How young can you be and still be a justice of the peace?
I imagine it depends on state laws. In Illinois, 21.
Mm-hmm. What seat are you in Illinois?
Carbondale.
Carbondale.
Polly?
Number 2, as a justice of the peace, how many people have you married? 1. I beg your pardon?
1 people?
Was it a man or a woman?
Not be married. Married himself.
I have performed 1 marriage ceremony. Oh, I see. No, I thought actually it might have been a proxy something or other, where there's only 1 person there. It takes 2. Thank you. Number 3, you say you go to the Indiana University. Where is your law office in Indiana?
On what street?
No, where in Indiana?
Oh, it's in Bloomington, where the university
I beg your
is.
pardon?
In Bloomington.
In Bloomington.
Ralph? Number one, is it or was it ever possible to practice law without a degree?
Not in Massachusetts, no, sir.
Number two,
Yes, it is.
it is?
In Illinois.
Was? Number one, who's the present Attorney General and when did he take office?
The Attorney General is William Rogers, and I'm not quite sure, but for him was Herbert Brownell.
Number two, what were the last two Supreme Court appointments?
I don't know.
Number three, do you know?
I believe Justice Brennan is one, and Justice Whittaker.
Kitty?
Number one, how many couples have you married?
I haven't married anybody. Unfortunately.
Number three, how many couples have you married?
2.
2. Number one, it says in your affidavit that you defeated 4 male opponents. Do you care to say who they were?
One of them was James Horn, who was Republican. The other 2 were Democrats.
2 elderly gentlemen or young gentlemen?
They were fairly young, yes.
Uh-huh. And number 3, who did you defeat?
Well, I defeated 3 Democrats and 1 independent. The independent was my biggest opponent.
And can you practice law without a degree?
Well, I can be a JP without a degree, yes.
All right, that's it. These 3 charming ladies all claim to be Pat Dwyer, and it's up to you now to mark your ballots for the one you think is the right one. Therefore, select, if you will, number 1, number 2, or number 3. Okay, all set? Polly?
I voted for number 2. I've been wrong all evening, and I figured I'd as well stick with it. No, actually, I have no real reason, really. They all 3 seem to be very intelligent, pretty girls. I just took a chance.
Okay. Ralph, how about your choice?
Number 3, largely because she knew the last 2 Supreme Court appointments.
Kitty?
Number 3. Well, I thought she had a sort of familiarity with her job, the way she said JP. And I just thought she knew what she was saying.
How about you, Hi?
Well, I also voted for number 3.
Oh.
I've been going along with the panel tonight. I don't know. She just strikes me as the kind of a girl I'd like to see in front of a bar.
Yeah. Well.
Why don't you and Bud go home together?
All right. Now, there we have it. We've given you our rhymes and our reasons. Our rhymes were not too good. I hope our reasons were better. We'll find out now which one of these 3 delightful ladies is the real justice of the peace. So will the real Justice Dwyer please stand up?
Thank you very much, Miss Dwyer. Now, number 1, would you tell us who you really are and what you actually do?
My name is Karol Kagura, and I'm a junior executive trainee at Bonwood Tellers here in New York.
And number 3, what's your story?
My name is Susan Brown, and I'm a secretary for a private investigator and matrimonial service.
I think that's a fascinating parlay. Private investigator and matrimonial service. Well, that's it. And we had a pretty good score for you folks tonight, although not for the panel on this one. Polly pulled that one out. And there were 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $750 from Geritol. Divide it, enjoy it. Thanks for being with us. Hope you had fun. Good night and good luck. Now, we'll get right back to our panel in just a moment, except to say to Polly, you had an awful good show last week, Polly.
Thank you.
And may I wish you, on behalf of all of us, a very nice vacation.
Thank you
Polly's
very
going to be
much.
away for 2 weeks, but she'll be back with us right after the first of the year. And during those 2 weeks, we're going to have the very lovely Miss Betsy Palmer with us. And so, good night, panel.
Good night, Bud.
Our program, as you know, is brought to you by Geritol, a fast-acting, high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast. And now this is Bud Collier saying good night, reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Miss Bergen, Miss Carlisle's gowns by Florence Lustig.